Alright guys, in this video, I'm going to be teaching you on how to use Sledger. So the first thing you'd want to do is actually farm in coincidentally this map again. But okay. But basically whether you place one farm, two farms, it's just recommended to just get two level 2 farms and then just farm for the rest of the round. Now, from the last video, I kind of discussed the placements. You see the corner or here because like it doesn't really over the range doesn't really overlap like this. It does overlap the spawn a bit, so yeah. Now if you're gonna ask me how do I use Ledger for early game, which I might probably do, I might do two separate clips of just me using one for early game and one for like like using it a bit later than early game. And why do I recommend like doing like for the early game one more than the like I recommend like the later one rather than the way to early game one? Well, if I'm gonna be honest, it's just that once you get the level 4 state, which is actually possible, yeah, again I might do like two separate videos on that, but yeah, but I'm just gonna farm, I guess, because I already have my farms and shit. So yeah, now I'm just gonna, I don't know, pause the video, I guess. Now I'm gonna show you how, or but before I while I'm farming, I'm actually going to explain why Sledger, like why level like okay, I'm gonna explain you how to use it, right? Again, I might use a clip on this. If I'm gonna be honest, it's not really the OPS. Sure, it can deal 4 or 6 damage, or maybe that level where it can deal like 8 damage or something like that. I mean, if you want to help, sure you can do that, but like if you do, or let's just say you don't have the freezing state yet. Let's just say you don't have like the level 3 yet. I just recommend you to put it to strongest because these heavies they have 16 HP. So yeah, so just set it to strongest, and then like the targeting system, and then just yeah, just do nothing about it, I guess, and then just farm while you do that. It's just recommended to use one Sledger for early game because like trust me, when you get to its like freezing stage, then yeah, it's actually pretty good. So yeah. Now if I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be farming for some time. You're probably thinking, am I gonna place it during wave 10? Well, actually no. I mean I can do that though, but it's just no, just nah, no. Again, the level 3, it just doesn't really deal that much damage, even if I do set it to strongest. Yeah, sure, it will help the towers free. It will just help towers, or it will just support towers by freezing that enemy so that, so that tower, like these scouts, for example, they're able to, to like, yeah. But like, as you can see here, it's like some towers are just, they can like handle on their own, or they can just handle and they just don't really need Sledger. But later on, they will need Sledger. So, or not really they specifically, but we, the players, yeah, we will need Sledger pretty much later. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you when is the best wave to play Sledger and how to get it to its quote unquote OP stage. So yeah, I'm just gonna pause the video. Just keep farming. Just level 3 farms are pretty good. You don't need to spam like as a lot of them. Just once you get them to maybe 4 level 3s, then yeah, that's enough to get like a level 4 Sledger. Now, let me explain. Another reason why Sledger is not really that good for early game is because it has no hidden detection. Maybe if there's an abnormal and then like at the same time it's near a shadow, then yeah, sure it can actually freeze. But enough with the talking. I'm actually going to place a Sledger now. Now the reason why I usually like the pretty much the reason why I always uh you know put it in this wave, or like the reason why I do this is because if enemies leak, then yeah. Now, as you can see, the two abnormal bosses they die pretty fast. And another reason why I recommend you to farm is because you can actually max it now. If you do this correctly in the mystery wave, which is one of the most hated waves in this, in fallen mode because of mystery spam boss bullcrap spam shitty yada yada yada. You just yeah, Sledger can just counter that. See, as you can see, I already maxed a literal Sledger. That's just one, by the way. And as you can see, Sledger is quite good for handling them. Why? First of all, not only is it good for mysteries, but I'm gonna show you later on what else is it good for, which I'm about to show you in a small bit. It's just that I'm gonna save up for Commander because yeah, you're about to see what it's good at. Now, in the Fallen Wave, where people usually struggle, uh, I'm just gonna use Commander, and you would be surprised of how Sledger's gonna perform. This one singular Sledger, by the way. Now, I'm gonna get a Commander, and then upgrade to level 2. Set this thing to probably first, and then Koa. Okay, just set. Okay, here's the best thing, alright? Just set it to first, and then have Koa, and then it's able to shred on its own. It was just that there were other towers and shit, so yeah. Just set it to first as soon as possible. Me, I wasn't really able to set it to first, or maybe I did, but it was accidentally on weakest. So yeah, it's just in wave 20, it's just recommended to have one Sledger on first, and then like I commander, then boom, you can chain. Now, the great thing about Sledger in max level is, you know that annoying giant boss? Yeah, it's pretty good for that wave as well. Now, what do I recommend for this? Well, if you really want to spam Sledgers, then you can just go for level 4s because as you can see, level 4s are quite OP, even though they're not really on their max level yet. So I really recommend doing some Koa chaining and shit. So yeah, you can either spam level 4 or you can just go straight for a max level, meaning you're able to deal more damage and you're able to stun more. And the reason why I recommend level 4 instead of like level 3 or something like that is because you're able to max Sledger way faster. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the good sides and the downsides about Sledger. So the downsides is it has no hidden detection, it has a placement limit of 6, it has short range, and it kind of has a slow swing rate, but you can kind of counter that by just placing a commander and boom, problem solved. And later on, just it's not really that good for major bosses. Maybe it can still deal damage, but like it's not really the best if I'm gonna be really honest with you. It's just not really. But although it's really what makes it really useful in fall mode is like the Fallen Guardian wave because if you need a distraction, not like if you need a bait or something, but at the same time it can actually deal damage, then yeah, this is just pretty much the best like turret you can use against like those type of things. And sometimes Ledger might struggle on fast enemies, but if you co-op properly, then yeah, just yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, once you have a max Ledger, I'm not saying that it can kill tank, but like you're able to handle waves. I'm not gonna say all waves because like if you don't really have the proper amount of Sledgers, then yeah, you might kind of struggle. Like one max will later on struggle on its own, but I'm not saying it's bad, alright? It's just that I'm just telling you that that it's not really good. Like one max ledger, it doesn't mean it can carry you in the entire like fallen wave. Maybe it can if you have like other towers. So yeah. Now another thing I recommend is when you use ledger, it's just don't just wait for your farms to give you money so you can place more. And yeah. Also, okay, I'm gonna tell you the good sides or the pros about Sledger. I've almost forgot. So it can hit four enemies at the same time, deal twice the damage if they're frozen. So like basically if they're frozen and even if Sledger wasn't attacking, he can somewhat deal damage or like the frozen enemies, yes, they actually deal damage somehow. And yeah. And then the stun time is quite good, I'll tell you that, because you will see here that like tank is going to literally not move at all. Like it's just not gonna move at all. So yeah, Lamo. Wish it luck, Lamo. Like I don't even have it. I don't even have all the sledgers at max level yet. And look at this. The tank is just like suffering. Like yeah, sure there was an accelerator, but like another thing is that oh yeah, another tip that I'm gonna tell you by the way. Okay, I'm sorry if my pros. I know my cons and pros aren't clear, but wait, let me explain. Okay, so okay. Let me just focus on the pros. So it's cheap. There's a specific placement limit, so you don't really need to like spam more until you're done and shit. And the stun time is good. And wait, what else? Yeah, it's just a good tower, no. Now, another thing I recommend is besides placing it near to commanders, I also recommend it placing it near to DJ because their range, yes, they actually get buffed. So yeah. Now another tip that I have is use medic when Sledger gets stunned because you might think, oh yeah, Sled, it's not really important if Sledger gets stunned, right? It is kind of important if I'm gonna be honest because of the fact that oh yeah, no one is gonna slow down the towers or no one is gonna stun the tower or the enemies rather. Why did I say towers, Lamo? But you get my point. No, actually, I kind of forgot to explain this part, but like another reason why Sledger is a good tower in terms of bait is that when I remember when I said it's able to actually deal damage, and by the way, this is what happens if you don't like really use like Sledger in terms of like if you don't like really heal Sledger, it's just gonna your tower some towers will suffer because of the fact that they need time to kill that enemy. It's just that even though it's gonna get stunned, it's still able to somewhat deal damage or deal insane DPS. Like look at this Templar for an example. Yeah, sure Templar is gonna stun like oh god, it stunned my commanders, but that doesn't really matter, Lamo. It's just that see, it's able to somewhat deal damage or like I'm not saying when it's stunned it's able to deal damage. What I mean is like before it gets baited, it's able to deal like massive amount of damage. So yeah, Lamo. And by the way, this is what happens if you don't heal Sledger. This is like another example of what will go wrong. So yeah, but basically this is kind of more like a fallen mode guide. But other than that, I know this video was a bit confusing, but whatever I guess. But other than that, uh, if you enjoyed this video, please like and sub because I'd really appreciate if you do so. But if you don't like and sub, it's okay. But if you do, again, I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, yeah, have a great day, y'all.